Welcome, 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 my friends. Welcome to the Principled Women in Business podcast. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Leanne Dulgheru, aka the Solutionist. I am your nation's #1 trusted business strategist. I help businesses to create themselves, to grow, to scale, capitalize, and eventually to exit. And I'm very lucky to have this queen here, Miss Leanne Teston from the Lux Group. For those of you who don't know, you're going to have to check her out on Facebook. She's also got a group on Facebook called the Lux Ladies. And I'm not going to take any of your time to explain her platform because she'll do it better. So Leanne, would you love to introduce yourself? Tell us more about your group and its mission.
Awesome. Yeah, no, and thank you so much for having me here today. I'm super excited for this. A bit about my background. I worked in the financial industry for 26 years. I had a really successful career. I was very fortunate. I'm very grateful. However, the biggest challenge that I saw is that there were so many women coming into the industry, but then turning around and leaving again because they weren't getting the support that they needed in order to be successful. The financial industry, as everyone knows, is very male dominated. Let's face it, women have different challenges in progressing in their career than what the men do, for most cases. And so I had been fortunate to have a successful career. I had mentors that I could go to when I ran into tough spots and so on. And I thought there's just not enough support out there. So I pivoted my focus and I started to do something about it. So my mission now is to help other women in the financial industry to not only grow their business, but also to keep their sanity at the same time.
People undervalue sanity so much. It's always business, 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 or mom mode, wife mode. And so often, our own sanity, our own mental health is left behind. But can you expound more on, which section of the financial industry that you're in?
During my career, I started out in banking, so very familiar with mortgage loans, regular loans, and all of the various banking pieces. From that, I moved more into the financial planning side of things. So I did get my CFP, Certified Financial Planner designation. So obviously, was very immersed in that side of the business, in managing investments, but then also insurance as well. So now with the experience that I've had over the years in all of those different niches, those are all of the women that I help. So if you are in mortgage lending, if you are an insurance agent or investment advisor, financial planner, credit repair, I've got the experience in those areas, which makes me uniquely qualified to help in the business building in those areas as well. So really a wide range of women that I'm able to help, with the lead generation side, with the sales side, and also the time management side.
And we were talking earlier about, time management and how we go about streamlining and saving time. Actually, could you share with them the platform that you were talking about? I'm sure that, how many hundreds and thousands of millions of women would love to save time logging into 6 or 7 platforms just to accomplish the daily mission. And I'm blown away by what you were telling me about that. So I think that's probably something important that we should share with everyone.
Sure. So I'm using a system. It's based off of the platform of Go High Level. Now I am working with a SaaS individual right now so that we can create something that is very custom to the financial industry, because in the financial industry, we have different needs than what maybe a typical coach has or another type of business owner. So insurance, you want to be able to follow up on applications that you've submitted and what's in underwriting. You want to know what your chargebacks are and all of that kind of fun stuff. So I'm working with a SaaS individual right now to modify the Go High Level so that it really fits what everyone in the niche needs. And Go High Level on its own is phenomenal. I have saved so much time and so much money in using this platform. If anyone's ever used ClickFunnels before, there's it's either $97 a month or $297 a month. And really your only capability is doing your landing pages and your funnels, and maybe a little bit of emailing. Go High Level does all of that. You can also really easily import all of your funnels from ClickFunnels into the Go High Level platform. In addition to that, it will do your calendar links. It will do all of your automation workflows. It'll keep track of your clients. It will store their emails, your phone conversations, your meetings. It'll keep track of your sales pipeline so that you know on a daily basis what your upcoming revenue and cash flow is going to be, which is so incredibly important when you're running a business. You need to know where you stand. And it's really difficult to do that when you've got a piece over here, a piece over there. So the Go High Level platform, and particularly the way that we are customizing it for the financial industry, is a huge time saver. And when you're saving time, you're making money. So that's what I've been working on a lot lately.
And, saving time isn't just a human or a business owner condition. I think it speaks very loudly to women business owners, because not only are we business owners, we're entrepreneurs, CFOs, CEOs, chairwoman of the board, but, maybe we're mom. We're a wife, we're a dog mom, cat mom. We're running everything, and we have to change off these hats, put on a different mask, and change our conversation type to each person that we're speaking to. Exactly. So not only saving time is important, but saving money and having everything in one spot. I feel like I spend more time logging into all of these different platforms, finding the right login, hoping that everything integrates together, because not everything integrates together. So when you were telling me about that, I find that particularly magical. What I wouldn't give to log into a dozen different platforms, right?
Absolutely. One login, and you can have your team members have their own login as well, and you can set the permissions on that login. So if there are only specific areas that you want your team members to have access to, you can control all of that. So if you don't want them to see your revenue pipeline, then you can set it up so that they don't see it. They only see the portions of the database that you want them to have access to.
They need to. I love that solves, the time problem, but also it regains your mental load. You don't have to remember all of these passwords. Exactly. So you regain some mental space, and you can reallocate that into, speaking to your audience, perfecting your message, having great conversations with people who are going to elevate you and help you transform your business. And that's one of the things that I love most about you, Leanne, is, you definitely pour your heart and soul into elevating, I don't want to say your audience, but your ladies. And like we've touched on, women have a unique set of issues, distractions, and really working with other women, you get not only, the solutions to the multi-masks and the multi-conversations, but you get to work with somebody who genuinely overstands the exact perspective as coming in as a woman business owner. Tell me more. I know we're all women business owners, and there's so many issues that we're always talking about, but specifically, what problems, what obstacles did you or, your ladies run into on a regular basis?
So I think the biggest thing, and this was really highlighted when I was speaking with my clients yesterday, anyone in business, but particularly women, feel like they have to have it all figured out. And if you're not feeling like you have it all figured out, then you're scared to tell somebody. You're like, oh gosh, I don't want to talk, and say that I'm struggling in this area. I don't want to talk to this person about it because look at her. She's all put together. She doesn't have these problems. She's going to think that, that I'm weak or that I can't do it. And so you end up internalizing it. You isolate yourself, which again, makes you feel worse.
Perpetuates the problem.
Exactly. And in speaking with my clients yesterday, going, around to the different people, every single woman in that group was feeling the same way. They were scared to talk about it. But once we got it out in the open and had a really genuine, authentic, honest conversation about how they were feeling, oh my gosh, we all just felt 1,000 times better, and for them knowing, what they're experiencing and what they're feeling, they're not alone. And it's normal. It's absolutely 100% normal. So, I prompted them, don't isolate yourself. It's okay to talk about it and to be vulnerable with your other female colleagues, because together we rise. And so don't try to do it on your own.
And you mentioned something that resonates particularly with myself. So obviously I can't be alone. You feel like you have to have that facade, that persona, that no matter what, you know exactly what you're doing, how to do it, who to talk to. And clearly, if you said you needed help or you said, no, I need some additional clarity on this, you feel weak sauce. Yeah. And I want to say women as a breed, because we're very different from our male counterparts, but women as a breed, because we play so many roles, we need so much more, feedback and support from the rest of our female team. And I know the women that I work with, they feel the same way. Like, no, I couldn't possibly ask for help. Nope, I'm not having that issue. Google will tell me all about it and I don't have to expose myself. But I genuinely feel like at some point, it's the exposing of yourself, being raw and authentically vulnerable is that turning point where you become not a businesswoman, but you become approachable, and your people, your audience, your team, people who are going to resonate with you really start to see that, they're not alone. It's not a one-woman island. We all have to band together and support each other, because where you have a specialty in one area, I have a specialty in another, but we definitely need this team here and we need this team here. And really coming together is what's going to bring together that mission, that vision, that goal of what we're all working for. Now, education, right? Let's go back there just for a second. Education, my formalized education, primary, secondary, definitely taught us that we had to know everything by ourselves. And if we didn't pass that solo test, then we weren't worth anything. There was no emphasis placed on teamwork and bouncing ideas off of each other. Unless you were taking a teamwork building course, everything was reliant solely on yourself and the instructions that you were given. And I think a lot of our jobs as women business owners, as mentors, as educators, is to break that barrier and really squash that and teach the value of a team approach and a team mentality, because you can't possibly know everything. You can be a specialist in your area, but you don't want to pretend to be a specialist in another area, because there's someone that does that better than you and you can work with them. And then everybody grows together. Right. The old adage, there's no me in team or I in team. But it's so much more fun and enriching and gives so much more room for growth when you do get to work with other people. If I didn't, reach out to you initially, we wouldn't be able to have this conversation today.
Exactly.
It's funny how that works, right?
Yeah. Well, and I'm so thankful and grateful that you did, because because I think we've both learned quite a bit from each other. But not only that, and most importantly, we've built a really nice relationship and friendship. And that's what happens when you make yourself open to gaining information and exchanging information with others, and not trying to be that jack of all trades, or Jill of all trades, I should say.
The Jill of all trades. It's right. It's right embedded into our memory. You would automatically say the jack of all trades, because that was always the saying. But when you really step into your own power as a woman, but really, in our professional space, a woman business owner, a woman entrepreneur, a fempreneur, then you get to take this power and multiply it and spread the mission and the joy to the rest of your team.
Absolutely.
Even though, all of us women didn't get together and say, let's be a team. As educators and empowerers, we want to bring in other people to really feed off of, because we all want to grow together. Yeah. You're in the finance industry, I'm in the finance industry, and it's highly male dominated. When I tell people that, I'm a private banker, an investor, and a business strategist, I get the look like, how? There's not this sign on my forehead that outlines my education, my experience, my own journey. So until you talk to me and you learn more about me, it's, you see a 30-something and you're like, wait a minute, how? That doesn't make sense. But now that we have virtual and we can open up all of these other barriers, other women know that they're not alone, and that they have a specified resource and access to mentors, which is the next thing I want to touch on. You and I get along really well because we understand the value. Value is such a poor word, but the right word's not coming to me. But the value of having a mentor as opposed to a coach or opposed to a partner. Can you tell me a little bit more about how your mentorship and engaging with that mentor took you to the next level and your experience with them?
Absolutely. So when I was early on in my career, I thankfully allowed myself to be mentored by another woman in the industry. And I think that was really one of the major factors that allowed me to have the success that I did, is because I wasn't isolating myself, and I was asking questions and asking for help and support and guidance. And over the years, as my career evolved, I would find myself attracted to other female mentors in this space that could help me level up my education and my service, and even more so, even the most successful women in this world, they all have mentors. They may not talk about it.
Yes. So I have to ask you, because you're a mentor, you've had a mentor, you still have a mentor. How often do you hear, oh no, mentors are too expensive?
Oh my gosh. Investing in yourself.
Investing in yourself. Yes, investing in your business. At what point is investing in yourself, your own development, and your business too expensive? Sorry, I just wanted you to say that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. There is a fee involved. We all know that. However, I can very much say that had I not made that investment, I would not be where I am today.
Amen.
No
question.
Amen. No question. And so I continuously invest in myself and invest in my business so that I can keep growing the way I want to grow. And I don't think I'm alone in saying that I always want to do better and grow further. And I will not be able to do that unless I continue to invest in myself.
Investment in yourself. So often I hear, well, we can expense that on our books. but it wasn't an expense to begin with.
No.
An expense means that all it does is go out, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't come back. But the true value of mentorship and engaging in that is it comes back infinitely fold.
Absolutely.
I can agree with you 1,000% that, if I didn't engage and work with my mentor every day, I wouldn't be here. I would still be trying to figure out, the private banking world, the investment world, different social mobility vehicles, higher thinking, higher consciousness. There are so many aspects that would still be unknown to me, right? You can't learn something that you're unaware that you don't know. And mentors really open that window, that door, and rip the roof right off. And they expose what you don't know. Because first you have to expose what you don't know before you can learn what you don't know. So we go from conscious unknown or unconscious unknowing to conscious unknowing. And that's really the first step. I wanted to ask that question because so often people are like, oh no, mentors cost money and I just don't want to spend on that. Like, okay, well, how are you going to level up if you don't have that specified experience, education, and expertise to pour into you every day or every week, whenever your schedule is? I love it. Thank you so much. Now, I do want to showcase your wins because you've already said you came from a highly male-dominated industry. We both did. So there's always that flow of wins. And I would love if you would highlight that for people, because not only did you come from a space where we weren't the proper body type to be in the banking and the investment world. But then you overcame that. You got a mentor, you moved forward, you leveled up. And we're not the only ones that, one, started there, but two, want to come up here. So tell us about your wins so that everybody who's listening and hearing us can kind of gauge, that full journey.
Sure. Yeah, that takes me back. I think the biggest thing was I remember walking into the boardroom when I first started with a new brokerage company, and 90% men. I was one of very few women at the table, and the men, they're kind of looking, checking you out, like kind of to size you up and see what you're all about, and you feel intimidated. For sure. But you go ahead and you do your thing. And when I started showing up on the leaderboard, top 3, each and every month in, month out, then they kind of look at you differently and say, oh, you know what? This girl's for real. This is legit. And, it's a wonderful thing when you are able to prove yourself by just doing what you do and not kind of crouching into a corner, allowing that intimidation to overwhelm you. When you have men then coming to you for advice and for tips on increasing their revenue or getting more leads or whatever the case may be, that's really when my heart was full. And I said, yeah, Leanne, you're doing it. You're doing it. And I knew I could help other women do the same thing. And I love it. That's my why.
You take me back. That's, a similar situation. You walk into the boardroom. I used to call it the pit because it was it was all men. I was the only one in heels. And you're right, all the heads turn, they size you up. What's she about? Is she worth speaking to? Is she going to hit a board? And exactly, once you start hitting those numbers and being the top in the board, all of a sudden you're an authority. And even though you are in, your pencil skirts, your jackets, your stilettos, that falls away and you become an expert and a specialist. And that transition, I remember, was so empowering. Because when you first walk in there, you feel about this big.
Yeah. You want to hide under the table.
Yes. Take your heels off and be flat-footed.
Yeah.
But it all falls away and you really stand in your power, not only within, but in the space that you're working in. But what I really want to tell all of the other women business owners today, and I know that resonates so strongly with you, is why we're friends, is no matter what you're going through, what face you need to wear, what conversation you need to have, where you are in your business, there's somebody out there who's absolutely waiting for you to empower you, to bring you up, to show you the ropes, to give you that specialized skill set, the blueprints, the processes, so that you don't have to go through the loops and the obstacles and the painful feedback. And it shortens the timeline between here where you found your vision, you found your purpose, you found your mission, to up here to your result. And when we work together, especially as women and as business owners, then we can shorten that timeline, because we went into business to reclaim our time. We didn't want to continue to punch somebody else's clock or answer to somebody else's rule or procedure. I remember always, being berated, like, you're not following the rules. You shouldn't ask those questions. How dare you? Also, why I've been a business owner for the better part of my life. But working with other women, you don't feel intimidated in that respect, because we're going through the same thing. Whether or not you're a mom or you're a dog mom or a cat mom, your time goes all of these places, but your vision never goes away.
Right.
And you want to achieve the fullest embodiment of your vision in the shortest time possible. The biggest value is to take what something would take 20 years to build and shrinking that down to 5. You can have it that much sooner. And I know that I experienced that shortening of timeline as soon as I enlisted my mentor, as soon as I got somebody who's done what I want to do, been where I want to go, has the knowledge and the experience that I want to have. I didn't have to go and learn it, because Google doesn't offer that specialized knowledge. It's not Google University, right? You get that, I call it an MBA education, without the $250,000 and 4-year price tag. You really get to tap into that experience, to tap into that access of knowledge and live it and be it so much faster. So, I love you. I love the fact that we are, working to elevate different industries, because we're kind of in different spaces, but to bring other women with us. Because
Absolutely.
If we felt like we were small and we weren't going to win because of one reason or the next, there was men around, it was a male-dominated industry, that's not true. Enlist other women with that specialized knowledge who have been there, done that, have the t-shirt, and they've already customized the t-shirt. Whether they want to go to the tube top, the long sleeves, it's already customized to be exactly what you want to be, because you tapped into that specialty.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Leanne, so much for coming in and, speaking to everybody about your experience. What I really want to do with this podcast is to demonstrate that we all have struggles, we all have obstacles, and we experience them and embody them in different ways. But at no point are you actually alone. Now, yes, there is that feeling of isolation, but that's a false feeling. You're not alone. Tap into other women, talk to other women, find a mentor that resonates, that's done the who, the what, the where, and the why that you've dreamed of, and follow that, because it's not an expense, it's an investment. Be committed to yourself. Be committed to yourself in an unapologetic and authentic way, because that's going to resonate highest with your clients, with your customers, or whatever industry or niche that you're working in. So thank you so much for coming on and, being open and sharing your experience and what you do with everyone. Again, everyone, this is Miss Leanne Teston with the Lux Group. Make sure that you find her group on Facebook, Lux Ladies, and then you'll be on the lookout for all of the invite requests, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you want to get a little bit more, even more in depth or more information about what I do, you can visit us at www.luxeleads, so LUXE, leads.pro.
I love it. Thank you so much for putting that there. And then for everyone here, I'm Leanne Dulgheru, also known as the Solutionist, your trusted #1 in the nation, female business strategist. Anything to do with creating, capitalizing, growing, scaling, and exiting your business. Let's get you to your overall mission. Let's get you to your vision and why you actually began on this journey. You can find me at The Solutionist and Total Solution Trust. Obviously, you're watching me here or listening to me here, so you're on the right path. Until next week, Leanne, I'd love to have you on again. We're always growing together, so it's always going to be a new and fresh conversation.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, it's my honor. Thank you for coming on.